Whoop, whoop.
Live in person.
Live in person. You
Live,
know,
live.
Jerry's here. Jerry's always here.
Yeah.
Holiday, no holiday. I'm missing a parade. My wife is up in the Hamus doing the Hamus parade where they close down the whole town. She's got her truck up there with her dad and red, white, and blue and celebrating. And she's like, "Do you have the radio show?" Yep. Jerry's like, I could have done a recording. I said, no. I want to be here. I like being here.
Yeah.
We talk often about,
Yeah.
you know, that book out there, Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow, or It's Not Work if you love it, and Never Had a Day. I don't know about all that. You know, I don't know that I'd run Jericho if it wasn't paying for itself. But I would, and I do sit here in front of this microphone to be a voice in the desert for all y'all. And it's cool that I just get a platform to talk about. I get to talk about plants and what to do. And so again, my father growing up said, this is all I know. So this is what I do. And everybody says to me, well, you must love it. It's a pride thing. I'm really, really good at it. So
you are.
Well,
you're wonderful.
I've done it my whole life as far as
That's
the garden. So I just know it well. So it's not, do you love it? I love that I know it really well. And the other thing that's fun is I love doing microphone. I love live feeds. I love doing videos. I love doing that kind of stuff. So I miss a parade, a day off where I could be up in the Hamas, and I'd rather sit here in front of this mic and be on the air.
Jen's doing the parade. There is something about 4th of July parades. When I was a little kid visiting my grandpa in central Utah, Moroni, Utah, and I remember saltwater taffy. Are they still doing saltwater taffy, throwing it out?
They are.
To the kids?
And Jen couldn't. She wanted to take somebody from crew, but I got a couple of people off for the weekend.
Oh.
And
taking a day off.
Yeah, come on.
Retail.
So she took, because part of what she did is she's got her truck all decorated up and her dad's in the front throwing candy out. So they do, it brought her to tears last year to go up there because she grew up in a community that had that same hometown feel. So we are here live. Jerry's had no live shows today. So I want to make sure somebody's listening. It was quiet. I got here really early. I say really early. I'm early anyway, but I got here a half hour. So I do my little podlet.
You got here early or you got here less late?
No, early. No, I got me and late. I don't like it. I don't like it. So we're here to take questions, and I'm the live show. I'm the only live show today. 505-243-3333. On my way in this morning, nobody on the roads. Just the people panhandling, trying to make a living, trying to get somebody to give them some money so they could, unfortunately, probably go buy something they shouldn't. But none of my business what they're doing. People say, oh, you shouldn't give them money because they're going to, well, you know what? I'm not changing the world. I'm not changing their life. But maybe I'm enhancing it. What they do with it, if you choose to give to the, and I have to be moved. I have to feel like God told me to do that, as opposed to get a job. 505-243-3333 is the number. It's the 4th of July. We are open today. We are open for abbreviated schedule, 10 to 3. So we're open now. We'll be closing a little early, a couple hours early, so people can enjoy the holiday, get home, get off the roads, and just enjoy some time off. 505-243-3333, and we're here to take your questions. And I need to know you're out there listening. Jerry's taking the first phone call. So let's see if we can light them up. Let's see if we can make sure that you're hearing me and you're wanting to be part of the show. Gives you an opportunity. And you don't have to sit in front of a mic. You can just talk into your phone, and we'll put you on the air. I will do it if you want. We'll answer texts if you'd prefer. This isn't quite as true as it used to be, but do what you love and the money will follow. More people would rather be in the casket than given the obit. They would rather be dead than talking in front of people. Public speaking is one of the top fears. So I don't think it's number one anymore, but it surely used to be. I love it. So give a call if you want to be part of that. So I see that. Do I push buttons? We got a new, no. Jerry just says, Thank you very much. Corinne, good morning.
Hi, Rick. Hey, so I have a dilemma, and I just don't know. I have this jade plant, and it had a bunch of jade plants coming out of it. That's not just one; it's a whole bunch of them.
Right.
And I had it inside, and it was all green, and they were all falling over the container, like draping over the container. Anyway, I took it outside, and now it's turning purple.
Yeah, you probably
I
got it in a little bit more sun.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if it's dying. I've never done what I did now that it's outside. I actually watered it all the way through.
Good. That's really important. I was going to
Okay.
ask you if the leaves are plump or if they're flattened out. If you watered it all the way through, I'm sure they're plumping up. If it's in
Yeah.
full sun, Corinne, I would tell you that you would pull it back out of full sun and gradually move it into full sun. How long has it been outside?
But it's about 2 weeks. But Rick, it's not directly in full sun. I
Okay.
kind of have it in the shade. It's under a portal, and it's
Okay. Then you're fine. Then don't move it at all. If it were going to burn it, if it were going to burn, it would burn in a few days. And instead of being purple, it gets like this bleached white look, and that's sunburn. The being outside will probably give it some good strength and sturdiness. If it's still flopping out, you might consider cutting it back a little bit. If you had some spots where you could cut back to a node where there's a branch, and then you could root those cuttings if you wanted to, you could try to do that.
I'm more concerned. Okay, two things I'm concerned about. One, I did want to try that, but I'm just so insecure about that. And you've recommended someone that does plant maintenance, but I wanted to try to come winter. I don't know when I should take it back in the house, and should I keep what are those light things I bought at your store over it? Because I never used it. It's still in the box.
If you've got one, use it. You won't have to move it in till October. You want to move it in before frost. It'll take a little bit of cold nights. In fact, you see a jade blooming. It's jades bloom when the days are short. So they're winter bloomers. They have to see that the change has happened, that it is cooling off and that the days are getting shorter. So if you can leave it outside and watch the weather, it cannot freeze. Our average first frost date is late October. I do remember 2 or 3 years ago, the first week of October getting a frost. So if you're not a weather watcher and you're not going to pay attention to whether it may freeze or not, because you don't want it outside if it freezes, then move it in at the end of September. If you're a weather watcher and you're willing to leave it outside and watch the weather, then leave it outside till right before it freezes. Again, typically that's late October, but it could be earlier. So you'd have to watch the weather.
And then use the light, right?
Yeah, unless you have really good regular light.
Well, it faces the south, but it's the picture window faces the south. So on the other side, it doesn't. I mean, it gets very indirect light from the west side, but not as much as the south. And that's why I was thinking, should I use the light over it so it kind of gets even?
More natural light is better, but if you don't feel like it's going to get enough light, then absolutely use the light.
Okay, I'm going to give it a shot and try it. I really appreciate your knowledge. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy 4th.
Same to you. Thank you very much. We got some changes. We got big studio changes, and the sound's supposed to be better. And I guess maybe you can hear that. And maybe I can, maybe I can't. And everything's supposed to be much, much better. The people like Jerry, and I talked to Trujillo that works for TJ. He said, yeah, it's way better. I personally don't see that. I don't know from this side of the things, but I push the hold button. I push the drop button. I push the pickup button, and I'm not supposed to do that. Corinne's still up on the screen. Jerry's got so anyway, we're going through some growing, and I don't want to say pains because they're not pains. We're just growing through some growth opportunity.
There you go.
We
Growth
have
opportunity.
AFCO's another freaking growth opportunity. I say
Yeah.
freaking because we're on the radio. Uh, the number's 505-243-3333. I will talk the whole hour about my business unless you interrupt me and give me something to ask you about. Thanks for the text. Good morning. Thanks for doing your show live today. I am grateful to do it. I'm happy. Happy 4th of July. Jerry kept looking for what's the theme? What's the theme? What's the theme? You can never grow wrong with attitude of gratitude. My theme today is gratefulness, gratitude, thankfulness. I am happy to be here. I get to do this. I get to be in front of this mic on the 4th of July. I get to be live on the air. I am grateful to be here. Boom, boom, boom. Light them up. Look at them go. 505-243-3333 is the number. I'm going to yap a little bit longer while Jerry gets these phone calls taken care of. And we're going to take a first break and we're going to come back to these guys when we get them on the air. Do you want me to go, Rand? Okay. Richard from Jericho Nursery. We're at 96.3 News Radio KKOB. We'll be right back. Back live in studio, 505-243-3333 is the number. 505-243-3333. If you could just learn one thing a week. You know, I teach this class on Sunday nights, 2% better. I honestly believe that life is a up escalator and we are walking down it. And then unless you are walking against it, you're going backwards. So it requires a little bit of effort moving forward, progressing. 2% better, 1% better. Let's just say we're 1%. I guess it's 36.5, but I think it's 365% better in a year. Now, I guarantee you I am not 365% better than I was a year ago, but I hope I'm a little bit better. I'm still constantly trying to learn, trying to grow, trying to absorb, trying to not think I got it all, not think that I got it all figured out. And I say all of that because a lady called several weeks ago and said, hey, slow down when you give out the phone number. And I was like, oh, everybody knows the number. It's so easy. It's 243-3333. How hard can that be? What it had taught me is that not everybody listening is always listening and knows where you're at, knows what they're listening to. Some people are driving through. Some people are live streaming this from all over the world. So I, again, am humbled by the enormity of the possibility of footprint that I get to be on the air, in town, locally, in the state, or worldwide. If you're interested in calling and have some gardening questions for me or something else, you want to say happy 4th, happy birthday to the United States, the experiment of doing the best nation ever on the planet. 243-3333 is the number. Thanks for letting me ramble a little bit. Tracy's calling, and she wants to talk about something that Jerry already told her what I'm going to say.
Tracy, you're there.
There we go. Maybe. Tracy, are you with us?
I'm here.
There you go. Thank you. So what's your question?
Well, happy USA birthday. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
So my question is, we have the 10-stripe June beetles.
Yeah.
And a week ago, we sprayed the Bonide 8 from you guys in the suggestion, and it was great. There's like 60 or 70 of them out there.
Wow.
Dropped a lot.
Yeah.
They came back for another party, and there's probably about 25 or 30 yesterday, and they're decimating my garden. And I got a zapper, so I'm like individually zapping them. But what do I do now?
The struggle, and the reason I stall a little bit, is I'm surprised that they're doing damage. Typically, that beetle lays eggs, and those eggs are grubs, and the grub is eating on roots in the lawn, and that's where most of the damage comes from. But if they're eating your plants, the spray is something that's ongoing. I get really nervous above 90 degrees in using a pesticide. It scares me because I see more damage done with misuse of pesticides than with the bugs. But either you continue to spray with the 8, and if you're not getting damaged, then continue to do that. There's another product called diatomaceous earth in a powder form of dust. I think I might start doing some of that. And you can dust the plants, you can dust around the plants, you can dust on the soil, and the lesions, the body, it's like glass. It creates cuts in the body of the insects. They're big, thick-bodied insects, so I don't know that it by itself, but combination with that, with pyrethrins or permethrin, dust products, the two together are amazing.
Okay, yeah, because I found that they're kind of hanging out in our pine trees at night because I got a headlight flashlight and it picks up the glistening part of them, so I sprayed them. But yeah, they ate the leaves of the cucumbers, then the branches, and then the stem, and it was completely gone. Now they're doing the tomatoes, and it got the squash. And when they came back yesterday,
I think I'd get some diatomaceous earth in the dust, and I'd get some 8 in a dust as well, and dust the plants. I think there's less damage. It's a pain in the butt to dust them, but we're gonna eventually cool off a little bit. And again, I get nervous about sprays burning, and the dust seemed to be a little safer. And the two combined are amazing. I don't think one or the other works by itself as well, but two together are amazing. So 8 in a dust, or there's a garden dust and diatomaceous earth.
Okay, yeah, I put diatomaceous earth on just recently, so great. Thanks. I know I'm on the right track. Thanks to you. I appreciate you. Have a safe 4th.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the call. 505-243. 3333 is the number. We're learning together. Talk about the nursery here in a bit. We're open 10 to 3 today. I'm on Alameda, JerichoNursery.com. Let's go to Alan. I believe Alan was next.
Yeah, how you doing today?
Good, sir.
I want to plant some or lay some new sod, and I know right now it's too hot to lay. I'm getting the soil prep now, taking out the old lawn,
Okay.
and I just kind of wondered, like, what would be a good time this year to lay the sod? End of August, or
As
do we have
soon-
enough time for it to be established
As soon
before
as
the
we
winter, or what?
as soon as we hit monsoon season, as soon as we start getting afternoon showers and humidity's up and we get some rain, you can do it now. I know people that do it in Albuquerque. It's the upper 90s, and yeah, that's a little tough. But you're 10 degrees cooler than us, or 8 anyway. You could do it. The watering is crucial if you do it in this kind of heat. You can't miss, and it probably requires 2 or 3 times a day watering.
Right.
So as soon as we started getting some afternoon showers, and we're predicted to have a wetter than normal monsoon season. So as soon as that kicks in, I think you should do it. The other thing I'll tell you is I love that you're doing soil prep. We don't talk enough about the value of grass in and around your property, and it cools, and just there's some extreme value that we don't talk enough about. But spend as much money on soil as you do on sod.
I'm a little confused about what soil to use, what topsoil. Is there a certain
Just Sprinklers is up there now at Payne's old place. You're in
What's
Santa Fe,
that?
right?
Yeah, Santa Fe.
Go to Just Sprinklers. Where is it? It's the old Payne's. He had 2 locations. I don't. Is it off Cerrillos? Jerry's looking it up.
Okay,
for
yeah,
us.
just sprinklers. Okay.
He sells sod, first of all. He also sells Soilutions soil amendments, and they have half a
Okay.
dozen different mixes that you can buy in bulk. So you can
Okay.
save yourself a lot of money, because I sell them. I love them. I think they're great products. I carry 3 of their products. I carry their enriched mulch. It's called Forest Floor. They mix a little compost in. It's raw. That's not mixing in. I sell their garden soil, which is a ready-to-use soil you can use in containers, and I sell their compost. I think they make 2 or 3 other products, and I know Just Sprinkler sells them in bulk, so you can buy by the yard instead of by the bag. Just Sprinklers delivers if you needed several yards, but if you have a pickup, you can get a tote, and a tote's a yard, which is equivalent of 28 bags. And it's for less than $100, and my bags are $15 and $20 a bag, so it saves you a lot of money. You can buy a lot of material for a little money, and then till that in. What kind of grass are you going to put in?
I'm thinking about tall fescue.
Good. So I want you to till that in at least a foot. And if you're willing to till it 18 inches, and it sounds like to me you're going to wait till it cools off a little bit, till it in, go back in a week, till it again, get it deeper in the soil. Where fescue has its advantage is a deep root system, but that deep root system requires you to give it a reason to grow deep roots, which would be good soil down a foot or 18 inches, and deep watering. Now, this first year, you're not going to deep water because you're going to bypass all the roots, but you're going to make it work for its water as it gets established this fall and next spring, where you're watering more water less often, so it has to grow its roots deeper. If you don't do that, then it just stays on the surface, and you don't get the advantage of growing.
So basically, deep watering. I got sprinkler heads, so just, I guess, to start off, I would just do like 15 minutes a couple of times a day, and kind of go from there.
Right, and then start expanding how long you do it and reducing how often.
Yeah. Okay, I'll check out Just Sprinklers. I appreciate your time.
And that's Just Sprinklers in Santa Fe at 715 St. Michael's.
St. Michael's. There you go.
St. Michael's. Okay.
All right.
I'll check it out. Thank you so much for your time, and stay safe.
Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it. Happy 4th to you. Appreciate the call. And we'll go to Ben. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well. I've got a question for you. I've got a pear tree. I planted it last year about this time. Did really good last year. This year it flowered in the spring, leafed out, didn't produce any fruit, but leafed out really well after that. And now the leaves are just struggling. I mean, like they're all turning yellow, wilting, and pretty much falling off.
Okay. I'm sorry because I just get stuck here, and shouldn't apologize because it is where I am and what I believe. I always talk water first because half the time that's what it is. What kind of water? How often? How long? How much?
Usually once or twice a week, I water it pretty well.
And is that with a hose or a drip system or?
I kind of drip it. I put a hose on it real slow.
I'm going to
and I'll
tell
let it run
you
into it.
on a year-old tree in 95-degree weather, it needs 3 times a week. And if
3 times a
you
week?
went a week without, that's it. It doesn't have enough root system to go a week without water.
Okay, so do
More
3 times a week.
and ideally more water less often is your goal, but your tree's 2 years old. It's not ready for that. So
Okay.
3 times a week, a big reservoir as big as the tree is, because the tree's only a year old. You should be able to put a 3-foot reservoir around that tree and fill that
Okay.
reservoir 3 times a week.
So I'd gone back and forth with my wife. She thought I was underwatering, and I thought I was overwatering it.
I again am biased and prejudiced and stuck here. You cannot overwater. I encourage you to try. There's no way a new tree. Where do you live?
And daddle at about 7,800 foot
Oh,
elevation.
okay. Well, that's better. That then you might get away with twice a week, but we're in the 90s, 3 times a week.
It's been close to 100.
Yeah,
A
no,
week.
more water, and
Okay.
it's a new tree, more water, and
Okay,
unless
so
you've
that
got.
makes-
And I talked to somebody yesterday, and real tree guy lives up in the East Mountains, and he has a tree that maybe he overwatered, and we talked for an hour, and maybe he overwatered. He sits in a bowl. He said it's clay like. He lost a tree, and I said, did the ground smell? Did it rot? He said no. I said I don't think he overwatered. His son watered the tree, and I said, yeah, I don't think one watering's doing it. So once or twice a week, I don't think, unless you're sitting somewhere where water can't go anywhere, there's any way that's enough. So
It has real good drainage.
oh, then 3 times a week. More. So when I say more water less often, and you have really good drainage, you have to modify that. We all want a recipe, but there's not one. Well draining soil requires more frequent watering of less water because it's just going past. So
Right.
maybe it's every other day for 10 minutes instead of 3 times a week for
So
15.
you think there's a good chance this tree will recover if I
Oh, yeah.
change my pattern?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I sure appreciate it, and you have a good 4th of July.
Ben, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Do I need to find the words? Because, some days we just get all these great calls, and some days it sounds like crickets. And this is a holiday where people are not working, and so they're. So I start the show with really want you to participate, and you do. Is there a formula? I just don't know. The number is 505-243-3333. I appreciate the calls. I appreciate being here. I love and am grateful that I get to do this program even on a holiday. I get to be here promoting my business, talking to you, helping you do your yard and garden better. We're going to take our midway break. Light them up. Got the phones open again, 505-243-3333. It's Richard from Jericho Nursery. If you want to, go to jerichonursery.com. Check out the website. We'll talk about what's on that on the other side of the break. We're 96.3 News Radio KKOB. We'll be right back. Petrie, thanks for being part of my day, allowing me to be part of yours. Let me into your home, listening, making me making making me almost cry about participating in the show, participating in our country, participating in my business, and me getting to be able to be here and share, answer some questions. It's cool that I get to answer questions about this. And got an opportunity out there in a couple of weeks, and I'm thinking, like, how am I going to cover that much time? And I came up with the first one that was better communication. We're going to talk communication. We're going to talk gratitude. I'm already 2 weeks into next week going, am I going to cover that much time? How do I kill aphids, or how do I control aphids, or how do I get rid of aphids? Try a hard stream of water initially. It's too hot for us to have ladybugs because they won't ship because they'll die, but ladybugs is an alternative. The dust that I've talked about in pyrethrins or permethrin or diatomaceous earth would work. 8 would work in a spray, which is Lamba or a permethrin product. But I do not like products when it's this hot. I see a lot more damage done when spraying when it's hot. So start with a hard stream of water. If they come back, then maybe the dust, because I think they're less likely to burn. And if need be, you could spray them. So that's the text. Thanks for it. Santiago, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I wanted to ask you, now with this heat, it's so hot. I live out here in the beautiful Espanola Valley, and it is like 95, 96 degrees.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about the watering 3 times a day. And is that recommended for all plants or just certain plants?
It was 3 times a week.
Oh, a week.
For trees and shrubs. 3 times a day if you were putting in new sod. So maybe that's where the communication slipped a little bit.
Yeah.
Established trees need 3 times a week when it's in the upper 90s, like it has been. There are so many variables, Santiago, on the right way to water. We want a recipe. People want to know they water 3 times a week. If you've got clay soil, if you've got an established tree, if you've got a xeric tree like a desert willow or a vitex or, a pinon, those don't need 3 times a week. But in Albuquerque, and I use the 3 times a week in 300 gallons because the water authority in Albuquerque, who gives rebates for us reducing our use, which we've done an extremely good job. We've cut our water use in half in the past 20 years here in Albuquerque, from 250 gallons a person a day down to about a 125. I think it was 128 last year. So we're where we belong with the rest of the Southwest.
I see.
We've done that by taking out bluegrass sod because sod takes a lot of water. But the water authority, the whole point of all that is a big established tree. And in Albuquerque 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, we were not even thinking that we needed to conserve water. We thought we had an aquifer we could never drain. Now we're sitting on a dry Rio Grande riverbed. The Elephant Butte Reservoir, one of the biggest in the nation, is down to less than 10%. I've heard 8. I've heard 13.
Wow, that is something.
We've got some issues with water. The city of Albuquerque rebate still says you water 300 gallons of water for a tree a week. When I say 300 gallons, that's a lot. Nobody gets it. Nobody understands that. Again, I had to be corrected. I'm teachable. Chinese pistache don't need that. Elms don't need that. Desert willows don't need that. But a sycamore, a cottonwood, a willow, an ash, they all need lots more water than we're giving them.
And even the Chinese elms need a lot of water, it seems like. And we can't get rid of the Chinese elms out here.
No, we can't either. But they have some value, right? They produce some shade. They don't die.
And some shade. Yeah.
Shade. The value of shade is almost irreplaceable. I live in the North Valley, and I have Chinese elms everywhere. I hate the seeds. I like the tree more than I don't dislike the seed. I'm glad I have the trees.
Well, yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, and you have a happy 4th of July.
I appreciate the call, Santiago. Thank you for calling. 505-243-3333 is the number if you want to call. Slow it down. 505-243-30. I can't. 505-243-3333. Debbie, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm concerned.
Okay.
I live in the Zuni Mountains, and we are drier than a popcorn fart. And a lot of the pines Pinon and Ponderosa
Yeah.
and cedar. It's all kind of dying out.
Right. You know,
Is,
we're
is,
where
will
we
it come? Will it come back
Nope.
after we get monsoons, or will they just die?
they'll just die.
Oh,
Now, water what you can. We went through this 30 years ago, and there was all kinds of fear mongering because we lost, I'm going to say 25%, and that's conservative. We probably lost more than that, but we lost 25% of the Pinon in New Mexico. And you could drive through the canyon in the East Mountains and drive up I-40 going east, and you could look at the south side of a rocky ledge and see pinons dying.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's a natural process, but people that have mountain homes that have trees near their home, you should be watering those trees for sure. Nature's not enough when we're in a drought. When we say drought tolerant, drought in Albuquerque, New Mexico is 8 to 10 inches a year, and the mountains is a little bit more. Your trees need water. We're in dire straits. We're in desperate need of, like you said, it's so dry that there should be concern. So if you have access to water, you should be watering your trees.
okay. I'll do my best.
Well, at least pick the ones closest to you that mean the most to you. Water those, because maybe you can't water them all, right? We can't water the whole forest, and we need some monsoon.
I don't have a well. I have to haul water.
Yeah.
So
pick the few that are worth putting some time and water into.
thank you ever so kindly, and you. Oh, and tell Jennifer, congratulations on being in the parade.
I will. She got lots of cheers. Her dad's throwing candy out the window. She said the mayor was thrilled to see us. He was on TV this week because of the fires. Our home is fine up there, so we're just grateful to be growing in that community. It's really cool. So thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Happy 4th.
You too. Bye-bye.
Taking us right to the top of the show where we can take our third break and come back and get the last calls in. Thank you so much for calling. 505-243-3333. I haven't talked at all about my business or our sponsors, just sprinklers a little. I guess I did talk about them because I promoted their soil products and their sod. So I did talk about them. Bacchus trees. If you need help, lady came by and somebody came by the nursery and had some stuff on her tree. And she said, I was going to be charged $300 to get an evaluation. I said, Bacchus does a free drive-by, guys. And they're one of the best. So Bacchus trees, Back to Earth Compost. Now I've covered all my sponsors. JerichoNursery.com. If you don't call and light up the phone, I'm going to spend the last 10 minutes talking about my business, what's on sale, what you need to do, how you can support me, how you can spend some money at the nursery, help me make payroll. Can it be so blunt? Can it be so rude? What was Rush is an obscene profit minute. 505-243-3333. Richard from Jericho taking our last break. 96.3 News Radio KKOB. We'll be right back. Back live in studio, 505-243-3333. But I got one call and then we're going to talk shop. Thelma, good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for calling.
Thank you. I was just calling because I heard a conversation about Chinese elm
Yep.
here in New Mexico. And actually, what we have is a Siberian elm, which is really evasive.
Yep.
The Chinese elm is a completely different tree, which is a desirable tree. It's not invasive. It doesn't use as much water. So if you plant a Siberian elm, you're planting an invasive tree. A Chinese is actually a much better tree.
Yeah, I carry American elms, and I appreciate the call because it does speak to the professionalism and the knowledge base. So thank you. Siberian is the
very
elm that
welcome.
everybody thinks is a Chinese elm. It's not. It's Siberian. I carry American elms. There's Alkalade. Mine is the one that turns red. Name escapes me. Frontier. Frontier elms.
And,
My tree,
Right,
my
and-
Frontier elm grew 5 foot a year for the first 5 years. Now,
oh,
to
they're amazing.
speak to Siberian elms, yes, they're buggy, and yes, there was talk, and it was proven this Dutch elm disease. There is no Dutch elm disease in Albuquerque or in New Mexico, and
Correct.
even though the tree is buggy and seedy and a bit of a mess and brittle, they do still provide shade, and they grow where nothing else would grow. I don't think,
that is
Thelma,
absolutely true.
I don't think you can buy them. I don't think they're available. They're called Tingley's curse because he introduced them to Albuquerque, and then he introduced them to the state, and they planted them on all the ditch banks.
Right.
But the value of the shade outweighs the unvaluable parts of the tree for me.
Right. Well, and the bugs feed the birds.
Yeah, when you get and it's funny because I grew up in the valley with them everywhere, and the bugs would end up in the pantries, in the kitchen, places you don't want to. But that seems to have gone away. I've seen a few, that little green caterpillar-looking larva, like a ladybug larva.
Right. Mhm.
But we haven't had that problem in decades, like we
Yeah.
used to, where it was gross.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we
what
don't
I
want
do
to be
is
used.
I usually just
Go ahead.
I just really open up the webs and let the birds get at it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And because we don't want to be using that much pesticide. I have a sycamore in front of my business that gets bagworms. I'm not treating it. I see the birds eating it. I see them getting into the bags. I'm like, I think I can use the tree as an educational piece to say, see the bagworms on this tree. And I had a lady get really mad at me a few years ago because she said, what do? I said, you cut them all out. She said, there are hundreds. I said, if you don't cut them out, next year there's going to be thousands. And then I thought,
Right.
well, am I wrong about that? I looked it up. That's true. If they're in the bag already, no pesticide works. So you have to cut them out. And that bag is so thick, nothing penetrates it. So you have to cut them out and burn them. I'm going to
Right.
choose to leave the ones that are in my sycamore there as a teaching tool, but really more because I don't want to put poison on the tree that the birds are feeding. I get, is it Crackle, the one that the male's tail turns sideways? That beautiful bird. They're feeding. I don't want to hurt the birds. I'd rather.
They eat the worms. You just got to open up the webs for them.
That's right. Yeah, I'd much rather.
It's better than putting out bird feeders, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, in the summer I don't put out my bird feeders. I put them out in the winter, but in the summer I don't, and we just put out water because they need some
Exactly.
water. Yeah.
Well, and people don't realize that you're just spreading germs from bird to bird, and you're spreading to feed them. But in the summertime, I don't think people should be feeding them.
No,
That's why our
that's
trees
the
are so
natural
infested
forms.
with bugs.
Right.
Trees
Exactly.
are eating all of the welfare food, I guess, is what you'd call it.
Okay. Good enough. Hey, I appreciate the call. Have a great 4th of July. You are absolutely
You do
right.
the same.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye. I'd say 505-243-3333, light them up, but I'm not gonna because we're done. I've got a couple of minutes left. JerichoNursery.com. We have a frequent flower club where you gain points where we give you money back to purchases you've made. We're trying to do better on getting things out, but one of those things where we need some room for growth. I also have a blog, a weekly email that sends out a lot of information. If you read it this week and what I allowed to put on there, I'm waiting for somebody to call me. Nobody's called me out on it. We have a picture of mosquito deterrent plant. the article says that the plants don't deter mosquitoes if you do the research. And I'm like, nobody's reading it because we have a plant. My daughter drew a mosquito on the plant and they don't really do what they say that they do. I was like, wow, do I really say
Is that the citronella plant?
Yeah.
It doesn't really
It doesn't do it.
deter.
Maybe in a candle, maybe within a few feet around you, but no, the plant doesn't do much.
You
for-
know, one of the things, Terry got a fountain that you put in a bird bath.
oh,
it's
those are cool. Yeah.
A solar, and that because it moves the water, the mosquitoes can't lay their eggs in the water.
Right. You got to have
Disneyland does that to keep.
stagnant. You can't. Yeah. You got to have stagnant water. People say, oh, they're in my fountain. No, they're not. They're not. So you want that is one of the best things to do is to get rid of places they can breed. So perennials are on sale for buy 4 get 1 free, and I've got $20 perennials on sale for $15. I have a premium perennial, really nice stuff. We overbought Guillaume. You'll have to look it up. I don't have time to go
Guillaume?
into.
Nice.
It's a perennial, so we're selling those at $750 a piece. All perennials buy 4 get 1 free of equal or lesser value. So I don't care. You buy a 4-inch, you buy a gallon, you buy a $20 one. Buy 4 get the 5th one free. I've got 15-gallon trees, tall 10s we call them. It says it's a 15. It's a tall 10-gallon. Normally $200 on sale for $130, or 2 for $250 if you need a couple of trees. I've got sycamores, I've got pears, I've got plums, I've got a bunch of cool stuff. For soil amendments, since the show tended to go that way, got topsoil on sale for $5 a bag. I've got my raised bed mix with my name on it on sale for $8 instead of $10 a bag. Probably the biggest sale of the week is roses that are normally $69.99. Weeks roses on sale for $29.99. Gratitude, attitude to gratitude. It will take you. When you are trying the law of attraction, it is being grateful that brings you more. You're not given more until you're grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what you have. I'm grateful for my show, grateful for my business, grateful for the people in my life, grateful for you guys out there listening, grateful for Jerry for producing the show on a 4th of July Saturday. Thank you very, very much. Allowing me in your home, being part of my day, me and being part of yours. Until next time, Jericho Nursery, Richard from Jericho. I'm out.